Another day in the mechanic shop. That was fun. Had the same amount of frustrations with tools here and there. Had a grinding tool that was trying to cut out pieces of a rib end cap that was just fighting me and did not want to work anymore. The teeth were all gummed up and filled with aluminum. So that wasn't cool. I did have coffee today though, so that was nice. Create every day. And we got some great progress, so check it out. Anthony is drilling out for the vent line in the left wing. So you gotta attach it to support the vent tubing as it comes out. Here it is in the right wing, getting set up. You wanted to go through that spar, use existing holes where you can, watch out for points of chafing and stress, kind of like the Haviland Comet. Yikes. So here we have the nut plate for the access hole, and what we are creating here is actually this way for the other wing. That way it can go in there and sit nice and flush inside that space. And then we can have the cap, which he's got elsewhere, which screws in there, and then we can reach our hand up into that space and do all the work that needs to be done going that way. Oh, fun times in there. And this plate is gonna go right in here and center in. We're gonna flush rivet. I'm gonna let him do that since he's a pro at it. And they'll sit in there and they'll be all nice and tight, and then we'll be able to screw up and have our plate done. I'm continuing to work on the nut plate, so I'm just drilling out using this template for being able to attach those little screw nut plate daubers, and then cleaning out the bigger holes. I love having scrap wood for this. It's definitely itchy with all the shavings I got from this day. Again, cleaning up the edges, removing any points of large stress that can happen, being careful with how to line stuff up, cutting off, hopefully measuring thrice. My cat has decided to join me for this narration. So now I'm just doing some more cleanup, testing, checking the fit, seeing how it's going, finding out my other places to locate for cuts and drilling holes. In hindsight, I wish I had cut a bigger hole. I was trying to preserve material, but the main center hole that goes around the sender, the fuel sender, I could have easily made that bigger. I think I was being too concerned with what type of support that this end cap stiffener ends up giving to the structure. So that circle I just drew right there, I could have made larger. I was trying to preserve as much material as possible. And then once I really got into this install and all the times we needed to adjust and access things, it's almost as if you want to just make one giant oval between those three holes, because you get the spar stiffener and I'm not really sure that you lose that much strength. Again, not an engineer, so my thought was safer than sorry, so I tried to preserve as much of the original end cap as I could manage. This tool was amazing until it was no longer amazing. I'll get more into that in a sec. So this is Anthony mounting all the little nut plates with the little press. It's impressive all the, pun intended, it's impressive all the various tools that you have at your disposal for being able to do this when you're in a professional shop. So this is where things just start going south. Basically, the bit was gumming up with aluminum. It had been used for a long period of time. Probably wasn't the right tool for this, or the pressure, or all of the above, right? Just kind of got in my way. So a lot of time spent trying to get it to work, finally get it to work, yay, and then I got to do it all over again. So definitely not one of the more enjoyable parts. When you're working, you want it to flow, you want it to not run into issue, and the reality is Murphy's Law will come in and be your best friend and make everything go the way you don't want it to go. Yep, more tweaking, more twacking, more attempts, trying to find bits, etc. And it's not like these are just, you can find these anywhere type bits. So once that was completed, then it was off to the sander and getting everything nice and smooth, and then deburring all the holes. Make sure that I could cut away. These are actually for the flush mount, so I could get the flush mount rivets, because you gotta take out just enough material so that the rivet sits nice and flush. And it's kind of a work of art as you figure out how many turns and how sharp that bit is and how much pressure to get. And then you don't get it right, and then it doesn't sit flush, and then you get really upset with yourself, and you either accept it or you drill it back out and do it again. So I may have done that a few times. This is Anthony helping me hold and rivet to the places where we couldn't get the tool in. So I'd hold a stiffener and then he would rivet it with the pneumatic gun. Here Isaac is helping him do the exact same thing, where Isaac is in the wing holding basically a little anvil and keeps pressure so that it can splooge out the brass rivet. And that's the finished product. Always looks prettier once you paint it. This is the overflow vent line. You basically drill a hole, grommet it in, then throw some hose clamps, and then you're going to insert an aluminum tube into that you then hose clamp on, and that's where an overflow from overfilling or, expansion of fuels is going to drip out. It also helps keep air in the tank so it actually drains properly and doesn't create a vacuum. Then, as usual, always clean up your work, especially when you're creating delightful things like shredded aluminum. So this is Anthony cleaning it out, making it all nice and pretty inside, deburring, removing any stress points. I love this. I've never used this tool before, but it's basically a flapper sander, and there are pieces of sandpaper or abrasive carbide grit paper that you can then put into a drill and sand. And I really like this tool. This tool is great. Use it a lot. And there's some of the final product. Now it's time for just cleaning up the skin, putting in rivets where we had taken out some, and then fitting in the end cap, setting it with the clecos. Now I'm doing this side, dialing it all in, and then we can get ready for riveting. So this is just a test to make sure everything is working and things are lined up. I'm not sure if we did it today or the next day, where we drilled out and tested for the rivets. That is the whole plate under there. Another progress shot from the other side before all the flush rivets were installed. So just kind of showing you what it ends up looking like inside as you're working on it. And there you go, with the cap installed before getting painted by Rudy and Lee and his crew. It's so satisfying once you get to this stage, something that you had no idea how it was going to happen. You're able to look at it and go, oh, well, there you go. That actually looks mostly professional. I'm just kidding. Anthony does a great job. It's more me being a brand new assistant mechanic for this type of stuff. So again, you can see I could have made that hole bigger. I just didn't want to. Now Anthony is working on setting up where the static connector is going to attach. Just making sure that we sand off the backside, because if we don't sand off the paint on the backside and leave it bare, there will be no conductivity between the static attachment and that piece of metal, so it can ground out any static electricity picked up during wet weather. Now it's off to the spray paint, coat, preserve, keep corrosion at a minimum. It doesn't have to match, just needs to protect the bare aluminum on the parts that you need to not be a conductor. And that was day 3. I am not looking forward to revisiting the heat wave that is coming in this next couple of days as the heat dome descends on us. Thanks for watching. Throw a like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.
Okay, just gonna cover that a little bit.
You can wipe it real quick.
Tomorrow.